I actually didn't think it was possible, but Logan Paul just got that little bit scummier, as of course he has been suing CoffeeZilla in the background for exposing Cryptozoo. Now, you know, we all know the story. CoffeeZilla uploads a 3 or 4 part series exposing Cryptozoo and how it was a massive scam from the get-go. Logan Paul basically fired out at CoffeeZilla in a now deleted video, which basically stated, you know, I'm going to be suing you, you better lawyer up. And then CoffeeZilla basically being like, go for it. Then Logan Paul coming out and stating, do you know what, I'm not actually going to sue you anymore. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna pay people back. But the problem that Logan Paul had, right, is that he never paid anyone back. So he paid people back in Ether, which is essentially like a cryptocurrency to a degree. It's like the fluctuation of the market. But the problem was that the market had drastically increased by the time that Logan Paul had come around to actually paying back the alleged victims, right? So he paid them back in the Ether, not in the amount of money that they actually lost. So essentially, people ended up just losing out on a lot of money, but Logan Paul just wiped his hands clean. The situation was just like, right, job done, I'll see you later. So essentially, he's not paid anyone back. And behind the scenes, he was stating, you know, I'm not going to sue CoffeeZilla, and even went as far as to thank CoffeeZilla for his investigation. Then, out of the blue last year, he's just like, fuck it, I'm Logan Paul, and just slapped a fat lawsuit on CoffeeZilla and left it there. And then he was just like, see you later. And it completely blew up because people are like, whoa, how can you thank CoffeeZilla for his investigation and then all of a sudden just jump back on it and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna sue you? Well, some leaked text messages from the court case and from some of the legal documents really show how scummy Logan Paul is and really show the true intent behind this situation and how psychotic Logan Paul and narcissistic he truly is. So let's talk about it. The text messages, as discussed in posts on X and Reddit, allegedly show Logan Paul expressing intent to sue CoffeeZilla into the ground and describing himself as a petty billionaire, aiming to make CoffeeZilla's life more difficult, and these messages are presented as evidence in CoffeeZilla's motion to dismiss the defamation lawsuit, suggesting that Paul's lawsuit may be motivated by personal vendetta rather than a legitimate legal ground. Now, based off of the information that we've got, alright, we've got the text messages here, and it says, Paul, so obviously this comes from Logan Paul to a friend, lawyering up, suing this motherfucker into the ground. His friend, then everything will come out, court docs public. Paul, so everyone will see what happened for better or for worse. Then his friend types back, Paul, just to make his life more difficult. Paul, Zilla will pay one way or another. Paul, make sure of it, right? And then more messages. Paul, I want people who wronged me to suffer while I continue getting wins on their grave. So this is obviously like that his friend is basically like trying to talk him off the ledge. Bro, you're a billionaire. Paul's responded, I'm a petty billionaire. And Paul also acknowledges that CoffeeZilla would have a difficult time paying any alleged damages. Paul admitted that he wants to make CoffeeZilla suffer along with anyone else who has quote unquote wronged him. This guy is an absolute nut job. Imagine being Logan Paul. You've got so much money. Like the prime sales that he made, or like 1 week in the WWE, would most likely pay off all of the victims for Cryptozoo, right? That it would literally see an end to all of his Cryptozoo issues. But he just refuses to pay. I don't know if that's because his ego is so enormous that he feels like that would be seen as a loss. I don't know if it's because he just feels like he doesn't have to owe anyone a penny. I don't know what the reason is, but there's surely no good intent behind this. Now, there are some broader implications to this entire thing, especially with these texts coming out. So this case is one of several legal battles involving Paul, including a class action lawsuit over Cryptozoo, a $68 million suit from Prime's bottle supplier Refresco, and a settled $3 million lawsuit from the Plainless Pictures over his 2017, quote, Suicide Forest video. And the pattern of litigation has led some, as seen on Reddit posts, to describe Paul as synonymous with lawsuits. But CoffeeZilla's supporters, as seen in Reddit discussions, believe that his resources and public goodwill to defend himself, and with some expressing willingness to donate to his legal fund, a sentiment on X and Reddit suggesting that these texts could bolster CoffeeZilla's defense by portraying Paul as a retaliatory, potentially swaying public and judicial opinion. Now, obviously, this is really bad for Logan Paul. And the issue with Logan Paul is he will not address this. He will just crack on as if nothing's happened. Obviously, these text messages getting leaked out to the public, right, was a very strategic move, because it is ultimately going to sway people's opinions. And we've already seen it happen. If you literally type in Logan Paul and CoffeeZilla into YouTube, you get a plethora of videos. We've got Kavos making one. We've got just everybody has jumped on this and been like, whoa, this guy is a massive penis. And it's to no surprise. The thing is, right, is we expect this kind of behavior from Logan Paul. We expect him to be a massive douchebag. But when he starts, stating that he's a quote-unquote petty billionaire because he's just got money and he just wants to make the people who wronged him suffer, it's like he wants to sue, of course, his critics into the ground, which would sway other people from criticizing him. But that's not how the world works anymore. Because it's, if you put out one fire over here, 10 more spark over here. And by doing what he's doing, he's making himself a public villain. He could have held his hands up years ago and been like, do you know what? Cryptozoo was a huge fuck up. It was crazy from start to finish. He could even stick to the narrative that he had nothing to do with it and there were just some bad players involved in all of this. Some people might have believed him. Most wouldn't, but some would have believed him, right? And he could have been like, look, I will pay back the victims. I will pay them back every penny. And he could have walked away from this. Bear in mind, up until this point, his career was on a steady incline and his public favor was coming back after the Japan video, right? He'd started up his podcast. He seemed to be a bit more mature. His content seemed a lot more mature. He seemed to have really taken a turning stone. And he turned from like this absolute clown into someone who was, dare I say, ever so slightly respected, right? Let's not give him all that credit. But now he just looks like a massive scumbag and continues to look like a massive scumbag. What an absolute penis. What do you guys think of this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. I'll keep you up to date. I'm trying to cover the legalities of everything as well as, the situation at hand. Because I just want to give my videos a bit of a twist. Not just cover the drama, but if there's legal sides to cover, then I'll let you know about that as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think and I'll spook you later. Peace.